Today I'm making a West African chicken peanut stew. I don't remember where I got the recipe from. It's been modified from where I got it from to my standards. Uh, Basically, you're using chicken, tomato paste, cumin, coriander seeds, sweet potatoes, collards, and a little bit of salt. Now you can use chicken breasts, but it tastes better if you use thighs and legs. I don't like using canned chicken stock, so I got extra chicken boiling in the pot now. If you're making stock, I'm going to use that chicken that I'm making stock with to tear it up and make chicken salad with, so I'm not wasting it. You're going to boil the chicken to make some stock. You want about 4 cups of chicken stock. It's easier if you use deboned thighs. I'm pretty cheap, so I don't buy them. I buy the cheapest, just a big thigh pack, and freeze some of them. You're going to use about a pound and a half of chicken in this thing. Cut your meat up and cut your chicken up into bite-sized pieces. You're going to brown it first in a little bit of oil. You don't have to necessarily cook it all the way because it's going to cook in the stew, but just brown it a little bit on all sides. Take it out and set it in a plate. And then you're going to add 1 small onion and some garlic into the pot you just cooked the chicken in. It's still got the chicken oil in there. Cook it till the onions are translucent. And then you're going to add Then you're going to add your 4 cups of chicken stock back in the pot. Bring it to a boil. You're going to use 1 cup of peanut butter in there. Go ahead and put your peanut butter in there. And your sweet potatoes. You're going to put some ginger in there with the onions and the garlic when you're frying them. Just get some ginger and cut it up or mince it into pieces you want. It gives a good flavor, a really good smell. You're going to add to your chicken stock. When you first put it in there, you're going to mix 1 small can of tomato paste in there. Make sure that it's separated good, doesn't all stuck in one spot. Make sure it's diluted good. Bring it up to a boil. You're going to add in 4 cups of collard greens. Really, you could use any greens. I had collards, so that's what I'm using. Tastes better. Really, you could use kale, turnip greens, spinach, kangkong, anything like that. But I like the flavor of the collards, so that's what I'm using, and I had some here. And mix in your cumin and your coriander seeds at this time. And then put your sweet potatoes in there. Once your sweet potatoes are almost done, go ahead and put your collards in there. 4 cups of collards. Turn it down to simmer it. You want it a nice thick stew, so you're going to simmer it for a long time. If your water's not boiling off, just take the lid off of your pot, cook some of it out. You're going to want to watch it. Make sure you don't burn it all out of there and burn your stew. Oh, and I forgot. I put 2 whole jalapenos in there. You could use habaneros or ghost peppers or whatever you like, depending on how spicy you like it. I'm just putting jalapenos in there because that's what I had leftovers from when I made jalapeno poppers. Had a couple of fresh jalapenos left. Now you're going to cook this down for a while and taste it. If it needs salt, add some salt in there. If it needs more hot peppers, you can put some red pepper flakes in there, or ground up cayenne peppers. And you're going to let it stew for a while. Now this is going to be better, like most stews, if when you're done with it, you take it off the burner and let it sit overnight and then reheat it again in the same pot. It's not as good as if you microwave it. Microwaving it just doesn't taste right. Just use a pot to heat it back up in. Usually one overnight is good. Really gives it a good flavor. Gives a chance for all spices to meld together with the chicken and the sauce. Cook it slow, and that should be it. The recipe will be in the final description in case I forgot anything. Sometimes I forget what I'm putting in there and have to look at the recipe for it. But it's good. I made the original recipe of this wherever I got it from, magazine or something, I can't remember. And modified it the way I wanted it done. A lot of times you end up doing a recipe and something doesn't quite taste right, or you don't like the way it turns out. Go ahead and modify it the way you like. If you like it spicy, make it spicier. I put in, I forgot, see, I already forgot. When you put the vegetables in, put in about half a cup roasted peanuts. Use chunky peanut butter. When your 1 cup of peanut butter, use chunky peanut butter in there, but the extra flavor and a little bit of crunch to it. Add in a little different textural taste to it. Add in a half a cup of roasted peanuts. Just doing the prep work here. Cutting up the onion. Peeling the sweet potato. Now sweet potato, just cut it into whatever size you like. You want big chunks, cut it up into big chunks. Use fresh sweet potatoes, don't use anything out of a can. Those aren't even sweet potatoes anyway, those are yams. You want a good old North American sweet potato, like Covington or Beauregard. Fresh. Whenever you can use fresh ingredients, use them. Sometimes it's not possible and your results don't end up very good if you use stuff out of a can. But if that's all you can get, that's all you can get. So I'm going to do this prep work because I know you guys don't want to watch me do prep work and listen to me talk. I love the smell of fresh ginger. Use fresh ginger. Don't use dried powdered ginger out of a can. Really doesn't taste that very good. Used fresh. Smells good. Use you can put as much or as little in there as you like. Put in a piece about the size of your thumb. Usually does the trick for this. I don't have an exact measurement because that's usually the way I do stuff. Cook it a little bit and then taste it. If it needs more, I add more to it. The fresh ginger, you can just cut it up or you can grate it, either one. I usually just cut it up because I kind of like eating it once it's cooked. A lot of people grate it into little teeny pieces. That's fine too, however you like it. I'm just telling you how I do it. And for any Filipinos watching this, once you make the sauce, if you want to, you could put a little patis in there. Not too much, just a little taste. Put some in there and then taste it, depending on what kind of patis you're using. Patis is fish sauce, for you that don't know. Gives a good flavor to it. Put it in a lot of stuff, or my wife does. She got me putting it in stuff too. It's got a unique flavor to it. You can get it. Most Asian stores have it. I forget what brand she uses. There's all different kinds of brands from different countries. You got Filipino ones, you got Vietnamese ones, Thai fish sauce. They're all a little bit different quality-wise, just like anything else. So once you find one you like, stick with it. Bottle here is pretty expensive, but it'll last a long time because you're only ever putting a splash on it on stuff or in stuff. So buy a bottle. I think I remember we use White Swan. Tastes good like that. This is almost like making a kari, except with instead of using oxtail, you're using chicken. Tastes good. Browning the chicken now. I went ahead and added a handful of crushed red pepper on top of it. I'm going to put the cumin and coriander seeds in there now and go ahead and let them cook while it's frying up the chicken. Now you're just going to brown this and then take it out, set it aside, and then put your onions and garlic and ginger in and the oil that's left and just cook it up till it's translucent, and then start adding the rest of your ingredients. Chicken's done. Just doing the onions and garlic and ginger now. It's combining with the spices that were left in the pan and the chicken drippings. Smells really good in there. Added our chicken stock. Still have chicken stock left over. When you're making chicken stock, if you have it left over, let it cool off and put it in containers. You can use little plastic containers with a lid or a Ziploc bag and freeze it for later use. By making it yourself, you can control how much salt you put in there. Tastes better anyway. Homemade. Just bones, skin, cartilage, chicken fat, pieces of chicken that you couldn't get off of the chicken when you were cutting it up. That's all you have to do. It tastes way better than anything in the store. Now we're going to start to bring this to a boil. Add our tomato paste and peanut butter. And let it simmer for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to put our sweet potatoes in there and put the chicken back in. Turn the heat down for a little bit. Go ahead and put in your half a cup of peanuts now and let everything simmer till it's done. If you wind up with runny stew, it's too soupy, take about a tablespoon of cornstarch and mix it with some warm water in a bowl. Put it in there and continue to let it simmer, and that'll thicken it up good. However thick you want it. Or you can add more peanut butter too. Almost forgot. Your jalapenos, you want to go ahead and put those in there now. I didn't cut them up, I just slit them open. It calls for bell peppers too, but they didn't have any decent ones at the store in the middle of winter. At the store I go to, they all look kind of nasty. Little black spots all over them. You can use red or green. It's just to thicken it up a little bit. A little more vegetables in there. Jalapenos will be fine. Starting to simmer now. I'm going to go ahead and put the chicken back in there and the collard greens. It's pretty thick with the collard greens in there. I'm going to go ahead and add a little more of the leftover chicken stock I got. Thin it up a little bit because it's going to have to cook for a while to meld the flavors all together. Okay, add some more chicken stock. You're going to turn the heat down to low, put a lid on it, and just let it simmer. You're going to want to give it a stir every once in a while to make sure it's not sticking to the bottom of the pan. And if you have to add more chicken stock, go ahead and add some. Or you can just add a little water to it if you need to thin it out some more. Went ahead and added the peanuts now. Just remember to tell people when you're serving this, make sure they don't have a peanut allergy, because you got peanut butter and peanuts in there. Give it about a half hour on low heat to simmer. Come back and give it a stir. Taste it to see if you need to add some salt or pepper or more spices to it. And then we're gonna, once it's cooked and it's the way you like it, we're gonna go ahead and turn it off and let it sit overnight, because this is really for a tomorrow meal. Like I said before, it's better if you let it sit overnight and let everything congeal up. The spices and heat soaks into everything in there. Really does make a difference. I know you guys have cooked stuff before and had it and it doesn't quite taste right the first day, so you put it in the fridge, take it out the next day and reheat it, and it's perfect. Just turn the heat down a little bit more. The flavors are starting to meld together. Tastes pretty good. If anything, it might need some more pepper to it. I think I got a pack of cayenne around here. Be sparing with the pepper until you get it the way you want it. Just remember, after it sits, it's going to get hotter once it cools off, and then you reheat it. Looks good. I added some leftover whole peeled tomatoes. Add those in there. Get a little more vegetable taste to it. It's turning out, it tastes pretty good right now. Just have to let it cool off and sit tonight and eat some in the morning or for lunch tomorrow. Just serve it up with some, we usually eat it with rice. You can use, if you've got it or can get it, you can use, it's good with basmati rice. Or any rice really. Just don't overcook your rice. You want it just done. You could use jasmine rice or good old just regular long grain rice or whatever you got. Goes really well with basmati rice though. You don't want it. You don't want your rice gooey. You want it just done. It tastes better like that. If you need to practice cooking rice, practice. It makes a difference in the way things taste with it. It's also good if you can toast your rice. Just toast it in a frying pan with a little bit of butter just till it starts to change color. And then go ahead and cook it like that. It gives it a little buttery, nutty, more nutty flavor. You don't want to burn it, just when it starts to turn tan a little bit, just when it starts to change color. Serve it like that. Like I said before, if your soup's still too soupy, add some cornstarch to it, thicken it up a little bit. Cornstarch in a bowl with warm water, and then pour that mixture in there and stir it up good. Don't make the mistake of just taking a tablespoon of the cornstarch and throwing it in the stew. You'll end up with big clumps of cornstarch. Tastes nasty. I don't think we're going to have to thicken this though. It's cooking slow. If you still think it's soupy, you can take the lid off a little bit and cook some of the water out of it. Thank you. Continue to cook down. It's on low now. You can see it's still a little soupy. I'm going to leave the lid off a little bit and turn the heat down some more and just let it simmer. It's starting to taste pretty good. Now when you put your collards in there, don't worry about it. It's going to look like it's a whole lot, and whether you're using collards or kale or spinach or whatever, 4 cups is going to look like a lot of leaves. It cooks down really quick. You think that 4 cups is a lot, and it might cook down to 1 or 2 cups maybe. Okay, turn the heat down and give it a stir. And I'm just going to let it simmer with the lid off of it for a while. And then taste it and put the lid back on if I need to, and just let it continue on really low. So it's just barely cooking at all. I guess you could do it in a crock pot too. I've never done it in a crock pot. I've always done it in a big Dutch oven. I can't find my cast iron. I've got a big enameled cast iron one. Dutch oven. Big, heavy, enameled, like La Croissant. But I think we shipped it to the Philippines last time, so it's probably at the house in the Philippines. Enjoy it, you guys.